Is a ketogenic diet best for fat loss or best for overall health? I would say no. We've had different phases. We've had the high carb, low fat phase. And we did this for a couple of reasons. One is that if you remove fat from the diet or keep it very low, we will potentially be able to eat more food because fat contains a lot of calories. And we also thought that that fat, many of it is bad for you. But actually, we learned that some of the fat is good, and some of the types of fats we thought were bad are actually not so bad at all, like coconut oil with medium-chain triglycerides. Now, here's the problem that we had. First of all, a lot of the foods during the low-fat phase or high-carb phase were processed. So what we did is we added a ton of sugar or a ton of refined starches to different foods so that the label said low fat, but the calories weren't less, and it wasn't good for you. In fact, it was very bad for you. And another reason why we did this is because we thought that too much starch would make you hungry, which it is somewhat true. That is true if you have too much. And they also thought that low carb would lower insulin because insulin is a storage hormone. And the less insulin, the less fat storage. The problem with that is that insulin, like hormones aren't bad. They do many things, and there are a few things that insulin does. One of them is help you build muscle and help your body take in electrolytes. If you know professional bodybuilders that make a living off of the drugs, and we know the people at the top level are all on drugs, one of the most important drugs that they use is insulin because it helps build muscle. The problem is that none of these diets are the best. In fact, many of the proponents of the ketogenic diet, like Thomas DeLauer or Paul Saladino of the carnivore diet, have stopped advocating it. And they tell their audience, no, you don't want to do that, that we're not as strict. Now, here's why. Here's why in terms of fat loss. And I got this from Lane Norton. He has great ways of explaining different things. So he talked about it like this. Let's say you have this idea in your head and you say, oh, okay, here I go. If I go on a low-carb diet, I will potentially be burning more fat because I have less insulin, which is true. But the problem is that you're going to be storing more fat because you're eating more fat. Now, let's say you say, well, I'll go in reverse. What I'll do is I will go on a high-carb diet and a low-fat diet because I guess I will be storing less fat because I'm eating less fat, which is true. But you'll also be burning less fat because you have higher insulin. So the thing is, it's a wash. It really doesn't matter because it balances out. Now, you need insulin, which is also very important, to keep electrolytes. Leptin is also something that is signaled by eating more carbohydrates. It's not signaled by eating sugar, but it's signaled with starches, specifically glucose. And leptin is one of the things that signals to your body that you're full, that you're satiated, and tells your body to be burning more fat. There are also many foods that have great micronutrients that your body needs and requires, and it's best for it, that are in carbohydrate foods. Turns out that God knows what he's doing. Now, is ketogenic diet something that you can do? Is it helpful in any way? And I'd say yes, in certain circumstances. Number one, some people like eating a low-carb diet. They like the foods. It's something they'll stick to. And there is a little bit of this idea where low-carb foods can potentially stimulate your appetite. That's true. Another thing people use it for is for conditions like epilepsy, where they give people a ketogenic diet and it seems to improve their seizures. And another thing that I've come on to recently is in the field of cancer with something called metabolic oncology, because cancer is a sugar eater. It likes sugar. And a specific doctor called Thomas Seyfried found out that he could help kill cancer and starve cancer cells by using a ketogenic diet with some other repurposed drugs as a way of helping treat that disease. So that's my thoughts on the ketogenic diet and low-carb diet for you.